Today's LitReel is rated TVMA. Or at least it would be if it was on television. Or if I had any idea how to submit this to any sort of rating system. You know what? Just maybe don't let your kids watch this one. People have been adapting stories from one medium into another from the very moment a second medium was invented. There are classical paintings based on the Bible. Shakespeare ripped off Romeo and Juliet from an old Italian poem. And ever since the invention of cinema, they've been cranking out one movie after another based on books. Frankenstein, Dracula, The Wizard of Oz, Dude, Where's My Car? Most people don't know this, but that was based on Zora Neale Hurston's Their Eyes Were Watching God. And a lot of book snobs, like myself, will tell you that no matter how good the movie is, the book is always better. Now, there are a few that I think are virtual ties. Movies like The Shawshank Redemption or The Princess Bride, where both the book and the movie are so good that it's almost impossible to truly say that one is better than the other. So as both a book and a movie nerd, people love to ask me, are there any movies that I think are better than the book that they're based on? And the answer, surprisingly, is yes. There aren't many, but there are a few examples of movies that tell the story better than the book that told it in the first place. And the strange thing is, a lot of them are made better simply by leaving out weird stuff that the novelist put in that didn't actually help the plot. Here are my top 3 examples. Be warned, there are spoilers. Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg, based on the novel by Peter Benchley with a screenplay by Benchley and Carl Gottlieb. It's my wife's favorite movie, and it's hard to argue with her because it's almost perfect. It's thrilling, it's exciting. Even the mayor, who refuses to shut down the beaches after the first shark attack, does so for an understandable reason. And when he realizes just how bad the situation is, he shows genuine remorse. And the John Williams score? But the novel includes a subplot in which Ellen Brody, unhappy about giving up her high-class lifestyle to marry the lowly Chief Martin Brody, has an affair with Matt Hooper. It's a stupid subplot that doesn't add anything to the story about the killer shark, and it makes both characters far less sympathetic. The screenwriters left it out of the movie, and the movie is much stronger for it. Then there's The Godfather, Francis Ford Coppola's epic drama about organized crime, based on a novel by Mario Puzo with a screenplay by Coppola and Puzo. It's considered by many to be the greatest film ever made. But even with a running time of 3 hours, there was a lot of stuff from the novel that they had to leave out. Some of it, such as the history of Vito Corleone, was repurposed and used in The Godfather Part 2, which is also a masterpiece. But there's also a substantial subplot involving the character Sonny Corleone, which is alluded to in the movie but isn't given a lot of screen time. You see, Sonny cheats on his wife constantly. And the weird thing is she's actually okay with it because he has how do I put this? He has a prodigious cannoli. Like, so prodigious that it's too much for her. And there's a subplot about one of his mistresses who's okay with the size of his dessert because she happens to have a voluminous oven. Anyway, this mistress gets a whole subplot of her own in which she runs off to Las Vegas, has surgery to reduce her baking capacity, and then sets out to live a normal life. It's the weirdest part of the book and, frankly, kind of gross in a lot of places. So I don't think anybody was too upset when the screenplay instead decided to focus on the Corleone family and not on the goings-on of their pastry caterer. The last movie that I'm quite confident in declaring better than the book, Psycho, based on the novel by Robert Bloch, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, and adapted by Hitchcock and screenwriter Joseph Stefano. The book spends a lot of time on the Oedipal issues of Norman Bates. And while the movie doesn't shy away from that, the book gives it to us in much greater, some would say unnecessarily great detail. It also gives you a lot more information much earlier in the story than the movie does. And if you've seen the movie, you might understand how that might kind of ruin the ending. In the film, by withholding all of these details about Norman's life until the very end, Hitchcock did a much greater job of building up suspense. That's why he was called the master of suspense. And we get a much greater shock at the end when we find out that Norman's mother is no longer with us. Well, okay, technically she is in a rocking chair, but you get my point. I guess the point is, if you're tasked with adapting a novel into a timeless classic motion picture, well, I hate to sound like a prude, but maybe you should just leave out the freaky deaky and just tell the story.